what do you think it would take on the Palestinian end for reconciliation? And also, if you could answer like within that question, what made you want to take an active change and engage with Israelis?
Yeah. All right. So one thing that we have to do on the Palestinian side is end the factionalization, and this is coming from a Palestinian diaspora. We have to end the factionalization inside Palestine. We don't have a unified leadership that can actually speak on behalf of the people. The PA does not represent. It might represent a group of people in Palestine, but does not represent all Palestinians. It certainly does not represent Palestinians in diaspora. We must end the factionalization. We must work to unify a leadership, build the nucleus of a leadership that is actually realist. And start thinking of how we want our future to look like. We don't think of that often. We're very much stuck in the status quo ourselves, and we have to move past that and think of the future. What do we want? How do we see the future? Whether it's a one state or a two state or a federation or whatever. What do we see? What do we want? We have no clue, and we need to draw a roadmap to that. And certainly we have to stop with the reactionary politics. That's how I see it myself from my side as a Palestinian living in the diaspora. I have to acknowledge the fact that I do not live inside Palestine itself. So my perception, my view of these things might be very different from those that are inside. I'm speaking on my behalf at this point. What made me want to engage? For me, I just always, when I talked about that video of the Palestinian of the two Israeli soldiers breaking the bonds of the young Palestinian man, I just want to understand why. I just want to understand how. I still don't get it. Like I want to hear from them how and why and how can we.
I don't get it. I had a very different service in the army. So for me, I had the really sugar-coated pink kind of service. I served in Agos as an officer in intelligence, and I remember that when I first got stationed in Agos, my unit was in the border in Gaza for about a couple of weeks, just taking over for another unit until they came. And there was an incident where Palestinian adolescents threw boulders and rocks at soldiers. And one of the commanders in the platoon shot in the air, not towards anyone, just in the air.
Yeah.
And it was a huge thing. Like the whole platoon was ordered into the office. They're like, all they did was throw rocks. There was no need to shoot fire, not even in the air. Like you guys could get in huge trouble. It's just not okay. And I remember going like, but they were throwing rocks. It's not like they were shooting at anyone. That was my opinion. Yeah. Like what is my officer on? And always being told that, yes, these are our enemy, but our enemy is the father of someone and is the son of someone and is the brother of someone. And even if you took a life, saving your country, that life is still important. And so these were the values that I was instilled with. And so to hear all those other experiences, I can't talk on behalf of that because those aren't things that I saw or witnessed. And when I hear these kind of testimonies, I'm shook. I'm like, Okay, well, that was completely different than, my however many years in the army, a little bit over 2. Um,
Yeah.
so it was just shocking for me to hear. So I really don't know why.